Hey everybody, if you want to sign 1 to 3 clients a week from cold calling, I'm going to be showing you exactly step by step in this video. And if you don't know me, I'm Joe. I've scaled my agency to 40 grand a month. I've also, with that agency, ran a cold calling team. So that's 4 to 5 people each time. It allowed me to book dozens of appointments every single week on my calendar and a salesperson's calendar. So if you want to steal that system, I'm going to be giving it to you simply everything I did there in this video. But if you're not booking 3 to 5 meetings a day from cold calling right now for your agency, or you're not signing those clients at least, watch this in full and get tons of value from it. Enjoy.
So yeah, just have some questions about like outreach and booking meetings, and maybe just
Sure, man. Yeah, fire away with anything you like, brother. I'm here to whatever you need.
awesome. So I've seen videos about your kind of offer where you like basically your offer is letting them start very easily, like for 300 a month setup, right? And then just pay per lead. That's what I'm kind of using right now because I want to make it like real easy. Like, you know, instead of doing a free trial, you can pretty much free trial because 300 is nothing. So
Okay.
I have a question about the cold calls. So as far as I know, you suggest using like the permission based script, right? Like you kind of off up pitch kind of and then pitch.
Yeah, I'm for permission-based script in general. It doesn't matter how you ask for permission mainly, as long as it's not overly salesy on the opener. So like the first line of the cold call, in my opinion, should be like, yeah, it's Joe, we never spoken before, but we quickly explain what I'm calling. This is something along those lines. There's new winners every single month that we see. But yeah, man, the permission base is my favorite type of cold call, just to get their guard down when we're talking to them. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going for right now. Since it's contractor niche, I'm kind of experimenting with instead of just asking them if I can tell them why I'm calling, maybe like telling like, hey, it's Kirill, I'm also like a business owner, just casually, you know, and then just asking them like a question that kind of leads into if they can take more job and stuff, more jobs. Not super salesy, like, you know, can you handle 5 more projects this month? It's like this, but kind of like this.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah.
And also, I don't know if this can help. I'll just throw it out there just in case it might help you. Like these are some good ones as well. So like you can even try these. So, well, John, would it totally ruin your day if I told you this is a cold call? Like as an example, that's a really high performer. Well, John, would you like reward my honesty if I just openly told you this is a cold call? That's another one.
Yeah.
Hey, John, we don't really know each other, but I mentioned this is a cold call to you. Would you like throw your phone out the window? Like that's another one as well, but it's kind of anything you can strike between kind of goofy, funny, and permission-based or transparent from the get-go always catches them off guard. It really works.
For sure, yeah, see those, and you would say that those still work in contractor space, like even if it's saturated, those
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Also, like the saturation thing, I'm not even a big fan of the word, just because so many niches. There's 99% of agency owners that don't know this stuff as much as even you. So the most of the cold calls people are making are just subpar, and they don't even have a paying results offer. So as soon as you could differentiate yourself in the cold, I wouldn't even say it's saturated anymore. It's just being better than them. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, makes sense. And then yeah, in terms of offer, so basically after I ask them if I can pitch, kind of right, I tell them the offer where it's like, yeah, basically work with this niche, kind of, I do super casually, right? And then my offer is kind of basically getting them extra 10, 5, 15, depending on niche jobs per month. Pay a result basis, obviously zero risk for you. That's kind of what I say, right? But sometimes they still say, okay, I will do it only if I pay after I get the job, or like, okay, I will do it only if it's commission based. Sometimes that's okay. What's the price though? What would you suggest saying in these circumstances?
Yeah, great question. Great question. So mainly I go for the customization angle. So this is the way I do it. So yeah, completely understand, John, and I understand why you asked that. What I usually do is do a custom solution to every single person that help a call, and I really just want to see firstly if I can even help you before pitching you on anything that I don't even know your situation yet, or if I can help you. So mainly, what I'd love to do this Thursday, if you're free, is just hop on a quick 15-minute Zoom call and just ask you a quick few questions. Then we can go over the whole pricing structure depending on what service and solution you actually need. And from there, I can actually assure you that it's completely paying results, which means if you do not get actual deals for your business from me, I don't get paid a dollar. And what that means is you literally don't pay me anything. Would that sound good? Just the quick 15 minutes on Thursday. That's what I do in
Mm-hmm.
that case.
And I mean, they still have to pay 300 setup. So how does that connect?
Do you have a guarantee of risk reversal of some sort?
I mean, if they only pay 300 and they pay per lead, what kind of guarantee do you need?
Yeah. So often like, if you're a beginner and you want clients fast, I would do either work for free or refund. So what I like for a low set of fee offers is the work for free, which basically means I'm going to guarantee 15 leads or 3 deals or 5 deals, whatever your dream outcome is for them that you're promising. I would do a work for free offer. So after 90 days, as an example, if you don't get the 5 deals on the paid results offer, you're still going to work for them. And it might seem overkill, but again, we are aiming for overkill when it comes to offers. And especially if you're quite confident in your service, or you have, or like a little bit confident in your service, what we want to do for the guarantee is we want to always lowball it, as you might know. So even if you do, like if you're aiming to get the 15 jobs in 90 days and you put the guarantee on like 4 or like 3, and you basically say, if you don't get 4 jobs in 9 days, I'm going to completely work for free, which means I'll pay your ad spend until you get the jobs. That gives us the way to say in cold calls, like I just said, which is basically you're absolutely guaranteed to get this. And if not, you can say you either don't pay or we'll work completely for free until you get the job. So there's literally no worse for you in that case. I'm used to full refund offers. That's the offers. That's the type of offer I would like to run all the time, just because it's literally minimal risk for them in general, especially if you have a great service, which means you lowball it, like I said. That's why you can say the full refund. But in the case you are running a work for free offer with that objection handle I just said, in that case, I would do the work for free instead of the you don't pay anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if I'm starting out, I don't have that much money to run ads for them, then I probably should do a refund that one, right?
Sure, man. Yeah. And again, it's one of those things where the good thing about the work for free also, and by the way, you can absolutely do the refund. I'm saying, like, if you do the work for free, good thing is if you get them a bunch of jobs after you work for free and you get all the payments for the first few months of working with them, you still got paid multi-$1,000s in the end. And then worst case is you have to run their ads for a week or 2 after the 90 days is up to get them like an extra job or 2, because you might have missed the guarantee by a job or 2. So it means that you make tons of money and you only pay me a few $100 in ads in the absolutely worst case possible. So it's still a good option, but at the same time, I think the full refund works wonders as well. So either way.
Okay, I see. That makes sense. And the full refund, when you say refund, you mean the $300 refund or also what they paid me for other jobs if I didn't get them, like the full promised amount?
I'm mainly talking about upfront. So upfront would be my first option. The refund on the jobs is not necessary. Again, they're not concerned with paying for the jobs. They're concerned about upfront money, even though it's $300. The thing is, like, getting them to pay on the sales call is not very hard. $300 is not very hard.
Yeah.
Getting them to book on a cold call to a sales call is more difficult when you don't have a full refund offer, if that makes sense. Because you can say to them, hey, look, you don't pay anything after 90 days if you do not get the 5 jobs I promise you, as an example. But yeah, as a general principle, I would never ever give like an exact price on a cold call. That would be my number one tip for that. I do hear some agency owners, they do, but still the conversion rate on the booking is going to be higher without giving kind of the customized solution I talked about, that objection handle, plus the mentioning the paid results and the full refund. That works the best in my experience. So I'd roll with that.
So even with a low price, still not mentioning the exact price.
They're trying to get an excuse from you to jump off the cold call. Right? So, like, as an example, if we say complete paid results basis, they ask for the price, they get the price, and say not interested, I thought it's complete paid results. So if you give them the price, they're going to say, I thought it was complete paid results. Where if you spend 40 minutes with them on a sales call and you take them through the system and you've asked good qualifying questions, a line of questioning, and you take them through the pitch and they're all ready and you drop the 300, that's very different than a cold call, if that makes sense. Very different scenario. So preferably just a general principle to not drop price on the cold call.
Okay, got it. And does it also apply to the VSL, like the short video, 3-minute video that you would sell them before the meeting that you also talked about before?
That completely applies to the VSL, yeah. Don't get priced on the VSL. Basically, but I would make it like 6 to 10 minutes of the VSL.
To 10?
Yeah, I would recommend that. And the reason I recommend that is because the more a prospect watches of you, the warmer they get from your content. And the more belief breaks you can give them before your sales call, the easier it's going to be on the sales call. So I would try to drag that out to 6 to 10 minutes. If you watch my video, I think it's like 22 minutes, maybe a few months ago I made. It's actually like the exact slides of my pre-call video. So I would watch that one. Something key to keep in mind here with the pre-call too is that your pre-call has a direct effect on the show rate. So if your pre-call video sucks, the show rate's gonna suck. If the pre-call video is great, you're gonna get a drastically higher show rate on the sales call. So basically, my general principle for the last minute and a half of your VSL, you're basically encouraging the show with your offer. So you're basically saying, hey, look, if you just simply jump on this meeting, we'll have a quick conversation on how you can literally get two. Like I'm doing a real estate example from my agency when I used to record these all the time. Just by showing up to the call, you're going to talk about how you can literally acquire 2 listings in 90 days on a complete pay and result basis. So what that means is if you get on the call and you sign up, if you do not get those 2 listings in 90 days, you will not pay. And that's due to our area exclusivity policy, where we only work with 1 realtor per area. And then I would do the exclusivity on the amount of calls we take per week. So we only take X amount of calls per week. We only have 1 realtor per area. So I'd highly recommend to show up to this call because I'm not sure how much longer this spot's actually gonna be available for you in this specific area. And basically, again, we're just selling the show for the last like minute or so in the pre-call as well. So that's what I recommend for that, if that makes sense.
And in terms of the VSL, do you also in your video, just so maybe it's already expanded on Ask, like the sales call structure, does it change a little bit? Because you already kind of explained what you do in the VSL. So sales call.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, great question. So the only change that I do in the sales call is usually the first maybe 5 questions in the sales call, rapport building. So it's just getting to know them. What I do for the 3rd or 4th question after the signature, like how's your day going? How's your week been? Busy, perfect. Like the rapport building is I'll ask if they watched the pre-call video or not. So I'll actually ask them in that case if they watched. What I do is just due to the fact of so many people closing who watch the pre-call, I often actually make them watch it on the sales call. So basically, how I'd frame it is I would say, yeah, I completely understand. I get how things get busy sometimes, but what I can do is I'll just like drop the link in the chat here. I'll quickly go on mute. I'll drop the pre-call, and it's just about 8 minutes if you want to watch it real quick. I just don't want to go through a call with you if you are not interested at all. It's just everything in terms of the background information of the company that's super necessary. I'd highly recommend to go through. I'll just drop the Zoom link. I'll mute myself, and we'll come back whenever you finish that pre-call there. That's how exactly I'd frame it. But yeah, I just found personally people that watch the pre-call video are at a significantly higher likelihood for closing versus people who don't. So after a while, I basically add it to all my Calendly reminders, SMS and email, and also had setters. So I have setters confirm. And again, if you don't have setters, you can ignore this advice. But I also have the cold callers who book them confirm that they watched the pre-call video. And if at the end that all that stuff is done and they still don't watch, I'll make them watch on the sales call.
Yeah, for sure. Makes sense. That makes sense that they also higher close rate. And would you mention it on a cold call as well? Like, hey, I will also send you a quick video, just watch it before the call.
Yeah, it's helpful to do that. Definitely helpful to do that. But a setter for me will directly text them after the meeting. So just confirming that you just got the pre-call video in your email. So personally, I just make the setters text them immediately after they book.
Mhm.
But you also can do that on the cold call as well. But I would actually probably do both and to make the watch rate higher.
Mhm. For sure. And in terms of sales call structure changing, I mean also because usually, you do discovery and then you frame it like, yeah, I need to learn about your business before I actually know what to show you, right? And
Sure.
But since you already showed them everything, like how does the discovery phase changes and the further parts, how do they change? Because you already showed them everything, right?
Good question. The pre-call isn't everything. It's not literally like, here's my guarantee and the price structure associated with it, and here's the exact system that we use. The pre-call is a high-level overview of our offer and our background as a company. It's not like, here's the week-by-week progression on exactly how we set up your ads, or here's the onboarding phase. That comes in my sales pitch at the end. So the pre-call isn't everything. And also what I find happens is if this person is not a fit for the service, a few minutes into the pre-call, they basically say that to me on the call. But if they watch the pre-call before the call, they can also disqualify themselves because they realize it's not for them. So as an example, if I'm calling real estate agents, or cold callers are calling real estate agents, they watch the pre-call. It says only for licensed realtors only. If a real estate broker, a brokerage person who runs a brokerage hops on, for some reason, the cold caller pitches them, they'll just disqualify themselves and say, hey, look, I'm not a fit. Sorry. I'll cancel my call. So that's what often happens, which means 90% of the people on the sales call who are a fit are going to be a fit. And we end up going through the full process. If that makes sense.
Okay. So, okay, I get it. Last question before I hop off, maybe let someone else ask. If not, I'll just keep up. But last question.
Yeah, sure.
In terms of the price at the end, do you frame the 300 as like basically a commitment kind of deposit? Like, do you frame it like kind of, look, 300 is nothing anyway, right? We make money only if you make money, and it's also just for commitment. Or like, how do you frame the price? Because it is paying results, right? So they maybe don't expect to pay. How do you kind of frame it at the end?
Yeah, great question. So there's a few ways to do it. I mean, number one is that there's tons of work upfront on our end to set up the ads and get everything rolling. We pay for softwares and we pay a team. So it's mainly for us just to cover overhead costs associated with our program, and that's completely it. And also, we just love people that are actually committed to making this work and some form of monetary commitment. In this case, our best clients are actually going to do that. So that's why we do that. But mainly it's I would just frame it for the commitment angle mainly. And then if you'd like to give further justification for it, you can always say that there's some overhead software costs and setup time when it comes to our campaigns. But other than that, we make all of our money totally on performance, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. And then that's 300 only one time, right? It's not per month.
Nah, man, that's just set.
Say maybe what kind of niche do you usually work with, and how do you price? So you just said that you charge on performance. So do you charge them based on leads or appointments, or how does it work in your case?
Yeah. So just to give some more context in terms of pricing structures, agency pricing structures change with the amount of experience you have in the agency space. So basically, a beginner who's just starting out, which I was just talking to Patrick about it, who wants more case studies and wants more testimonials, and they're a beginner, then I'm 100% going to recommend a pricing structure where it's very little money up front and all of the rest of the cash on performance basis. So there's basically ease of getting on the program for us to get a case study, because what basically the case studies do is they directly allow you to increase the price on the upfront fee, because when you show people case studies, they are more than willing to jump on the program and pay something because they see all these other people having that result. In terms of your question about niche selection, there are three main categories that I like in terms of niche selection. One, I love high ticket niches. So what that means is your clients' products are going to be preferably over like 1,000. So that would mean as like a lower ticket, 1,500, car detailing is great. If you're going up a little bit, it's going to be landscaping, then contracting, interior design, driveway installs, roofing. That's what I'm a big fan of. I personally built my agency in the real estate niche. If I was to restart, I do tell people to go into those niches. I would recommend to go into the contracting type niches, just because the best part about contracting niches is that you don't have to deal with broke people a lot of the time. So I like selling to people who have money and not people who don't have money, because basically when they have money, you just have to convince them to give you the money instead of convincing them to give you the money and getting money somehow from somebody. So it's a different problem for reaching out to broke niches. That's why I like high ticket. The other two are one, ease of contact. So how easy are they to get in contact with when we are talking to people? Like, can we search them up on Google Maps? Like, can we get their contact information? And then number three is, do they have a pain point that we can solve? So is it like they need help with this thing desperately because they have no idea how to solve this issue? So that is the third component to that I'm a big fan of. So those three categories, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm actually looking into external wall installations in UK. Into helping that basically grow in this country because it's my own pain point in this country. Basically, every house is mold and it's old, and I just hate it. So I thought, you know what, this sounds like something that could work out. But
I like that.
actually considering right now, how should I charge them? Based on leads, based on appointments, based on sales?
Yep. I don't think I got to that part of the question, so I apologize about that. But okay, so the way to think about this is that the closer they are to making money when you charge for something, the less risk it is. So when you're charging per lead, it is extremely high risk because you can just give them 50 junk leads and they have to pay for it. When you're charging per deal, they actually make money and then you make money. A happy middle, if you want to control more of the system and then you book them appointments and then they pay for the appointments and then they close them, it's a happy middle between the two where you can still charge per show appointment. So if you book them a appointment for the business, you can take anywhere depending on the niche, 100 to 250 bucks per appointment in that case. Then if you want to charge per deal, you can take significantly more money. So as an example, if they have a 5K deal, as an example for an installation, you can easily take 5 to 10% of every single deal easily, right? We also have to consider profit margins here. Like some people have horrible profit margins on their deals, so we also have to think about that in this case. But often 5 to 10% of a commission on something is great. So that's basically in a nutshell what I'm saying. You can either charge per showed appointment or you can charge per deal. The caveat here for the deal is that you're getting paid less frequently than if you were booking appointments because you might get them 2 to 5 deals per month. So you're going to be getting paid monthly. If you book them appointments, you can maybe charge for that like bi-weekly or monthly, completely up to you. It's just going to be less frequency in terms of when you get paid, charging per deal. So I hope that was a thorough answer.
Yeah, but that's great. How would you actually, make a record of them selling or then having showed when blind makes the right?
Yeah, great question. So firstly, I use Go High Level CRM. So basically what that means is there's pipelines in Go High Level. So it's just a CRM where you can drag a lead to be perfect. So that's what I use for clients. I create individual sub accounts with each pipelines. And then there is categories of showed appointments and non-showed appointments. I get asked this all the time in terms of like how to verify it. There is a trust aspect in business all the time when we're making these deals, right? What you can do to prevent this is firstly have something in the contract where if they violate something or if they don't report properly or something along those lines, then there's a repercussion of $500 as an example. So there's a fee if something goes wrong. Secondly, they mark it as a appointment that is no showed. They have to give some sort of proof. So you can add that into the contract as well. So they send you some sort of proof why that is not an actual show deal. Number three is you actually have direct access to the phone numbers and emails of the people that didn't show. So if you're super suspicious about it, you can call and verify that would they like to rebook? Like you can even make it so like, would you like to rebook the appointment? So then you're getting an answer indirectly. So it doesn't seem like you're actually checking if they no showed or not. So there's ways to frame this, but that shouldn't happen if you have a client that actually likes you. And they often just say if the person showed or not, and it's truthful because basically if they make money, they're happy. If people show, they make money a majority of the time. So they're incentivized to be happy when they make money. So yeah, it's a rare case. It happens. It's a rare case, but most of it is actually trust.
So I have a marketing agency that focuses on AI automation called Heartbeat of South Bay. But I guess what would you recommend just based off like those offers and like to try to build trust and really get myself. I want to get out there and really start doing some outreach, but I don't want to make a bad first impression.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I completely understand. I'll try to talk from my expertise here. I'm not an AI guy, but I'm a marketing guy, so I'll help you on that side of the equation. In terms of cold calls, my number one tip is you just have to deliver a concrete outcome and make it tangible. What so many people do with cold calls is make them 10 minutes long, and like ask open-ended questions, and that's how they leave the bad impression, because the cold caller is going to ask, "I have 2 minutes," and they go on for 10 minutes. Basically, there is 4 main components to a cold call. This is kind of very, very simple. Number one, opener. What I recommend doing is doing a very casual, "Hey, look, this is Joe. We never spoken before. Quickly explain why I'm calling." You want to make it not salesy at all, just so that they say yes. So you want permission to go into the next part of the cold call. So something very, very chill. Or you can say, "Would you hate me if I just quickly said this is a cold call? Would you give me just like 20 seconds?" So stuff like that. Very simple. That's called an opener. Then we go into the hook. This is what we call a hook. A hook is giving them our offer. So as an example, let's do a real estate example. In my case, what I do is work with real estate agents in Toronto, and I get like 3 to 5 listings in 90 days on a complete pay and results basis, which means if you actually don't get the listings, I don't get paid. Would you give me like 30 more seconds just to explain how that works? That's a hook. I just give them concrete, tangible numbers on what I do, who I help, in what location. So you want to make it very specific and personalized, right? So if you're calling New York City, as an example, you're going to say, "I just work with barbers in New York City, and I get them X results in whatever time frame." Or if you don't have a time frame, I just help them with X, Y, Z thing that they don't like doing. I would make that clear. Next part is basically explaining the system a little bit. So like, how do you actually get that outcome? That's what we call the pitch. This is actually what we call the pitch. So the pitch would be saying like, "Yep, we have a 2-step system, and basically what we do first is actually generate the leads." So we generate the leads by running XYZ system, and we end up generating like 10 to 15 a month. The best part is, though, we're not like other agencies. We actually qualify each singular lead on what this lead actually needs in terms of specifics, what you need as a business owner. So we actually next qualify them before booking them in. So what I'm saying here with that is explain your system and why you're better than others. So that's what we call the pitch, and we're pitching them on the service. Part number 4 is what we call the call to action, the CTA, which is basically, "Are you free in the next week or so for a quick 15-minute Zoom call? I'll just quickly walk you through how everything works and see if you're a fit for that." How would that sound? That's what we call the CTA. So that's a cold call. That's the 4 components of a cold call. If you take the advice there of what I just said, and you make it not very salesy of an opener, you pitch them with tangible outcomes, and you just explain your service, you will not come off as an idiot. You'll not come off as anything bad. People often have positive responses. And then again, there's going to be that odd few people that are just not the best people in general who give negative response, but it's going to be net positive, and I hope that helps in a way.
No, it does help. I put some stuff together, and that sounds like within the lines of what I have going on. I guess I'm more just I'm being in my own way. I've been putting this stuff together for a while. I've had some success individually, like as far as like my project management, doing the same thing within AI and my services, but nothing just through my company, just concrete. And I guess I'm being a little bit too much of a perfectionist, but I do want to get myself out there. I do want to get my first 200 no's so I can get my first yes type of scenario. Yeah, this is very helpful, and I like your content. I'm in your school community. That's how I found out about this and everything. So yeah, I appreciate everything you're doing.
Appreciate the support, man. Wish you best of luck. If you have any questions or anything like that, just drop in the school group, and I'll reply to you, man. Just tag me.
All right, thank you.
Of course, man. All right, we have a question. Alvaro, I hope I pronounced it right. Alvaro, awesome. Cool name, man. Question: One of my fears is making a promise, but due to not having proof or success prior, just starting, guaranteeing 10 clients in X amount of time is risky. Yep. I understand that we can offer to pay from pocket if we fail the promise, but thinking how to somehow limit that, not bankrupt if I can't meet the promise expectations. Okay, yeah. Great question. In terms of not going bankrupt, you won't have to pay anything from pocket if you're doing a full refund offer. So if you're doing a setup fee plus performance, what I was just talking about with Patrick earlier was a full refund on the setup fee. So basically what happens, you make a profit from the client. If you don't hit the guarantee, you send the profit back, which is just a simple setup fee. So that's the thing. If you're talking about client ad spend, firstly, I have a 1.5-hour service delivery video on YouTube that should help you if you want to learn how to deliver great service. Honestly, there's so much service delivery content out there that is is so good. If you get a client on Facebook ads and you do a low ball, again, I'm coming back to low ball. This is really important. People are scared to deliver service, but when you're promising like 3 deals in 90 days and you have a set ad spend of like $900 a month, there is no world ever where you're not going to hit that if you're at least decent at Facebook. Unless you're targeting like people across the world by accident, you make this horrendous mistake. Like if you're spending $900 a month, there's no way you're not going to get 3 deals. And you can go to Facebook ads library and see your competition, see what they're doing, get inspiration from the competition. If you see an ad that's been running for 4 months, in that case, it's probably a damn good ad. So you could get inspiration from that and make your own off that. In terms of what you're saying to not having success prior, that's why we're doing pay and results offer, right? So we're mitigating risk by doing a completely pay and results offer, and we're just trying to get a proof of concept. So if you are scared and you don't even want to do a setup fee, you can absolutely do no setup fee. That's completely fine. It just is helpful to have some sort of guarantee to get people on board. But again, low ball is hell. Make it super, super low ball. Again, Facebook ads library, watch YouTube videos, learn how to make good creatives, use a good offer in the ad, make sure it's decent targeting. Open targeting often works right now. It's great. So stuff like that, man, if you follow those principles, you will hit a guarantee of a low ball. So I hope it helps you, man. Thumbs up. Awesome. Cool. Nice.
Hey, so I'm back.
You're back. Let's go, man.
Do it. So again, since I'm just starting out in this kind of industry, you know how it always comes down to like overthinking. Oh, should I charge that? Should I do this? Should I do that service? So my question is, since we're anyway using Go High Level for Facebook ads, does it make sense to also do reviews campaign, database reactivation, missed call text back, all the features of Go High Level? And I mean, of course, it makes sense because we can. I assume we also get A2P verified phone numbers for campaign, right? For Facebook.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna say, it depends on the niche. So as an example, in real estate, database reactivation doesn't work as well when you're working with realtors who don't even have any phone numbers on the list. So I would check your niche's compatibility. I would offer it off the sales call, see how receptive people are. If you get 5 no's in a row or 10 no's in a row to database reactivation because they don't have phone numbers or they don't know how to do it, they don't want it, then it's basically useless. People aren't finding value in it. Review campaign's a bit different. Everybody wants more reviews. As long as they have current clients that are happy with them and they deliver a good service, then you will get a substantial amount of reviews from your Google review campaign. So I would recommend doing that. But again, these are just small bonuses that I wouldn't worry too much about. They're just a good instant win for clients who are getting on board the service, who you want to give a good impression to right away. These are those things. That's what really is good about those two. So it's an instant win, and then we start up the ads like a week later. At least personally, that's why I do like 7 days later after they join and do the database and review in the first week. Yep, I would try it out, man. See how the feedback goes in your market.
Yeah, and we do get again A2P numbers, right? Like local numbers.
Correct. You'll need that for ads anyway, because you're probably going to be sending reminders and all for leads that come in to book an appointment.
But maybe I was selling bad, but maybe I don't know. Maybe they're also broke. That's why I'm thinking to have an offer where it's 300 like setup or maybe per month if it's like Go High Level, because Go High Level stuff with reviews and missed call text back, it's kind of still valuable, right? So I was thinking, if they're broke and can't do ads, I just do Go High Level. It's just like 300 per month. Get them some, I don't know, results. And then when they have more money, or start the Facebook ads. So Facebook ads is basically optional, right? Does that make sense? Or should I just, I don't know, only focus on Facebook ads, and if they can't afford it, not downsell them on Go High Level? Or what would you say?
I would go full steam ahead on Facebook ads and not GHL SaaS. My personal opinion. Reason for that is you just want to get very used to selling what is the high ticket thing in the beginning, and also what the downsell often leads to is distractions in your offer. So basically more offers means distractions in general. I'm a big fan of having one high ticket thing that's a small fee to get on board with. Obviously there's ad spend, but as long as you convey the value in a way that they see the return and they have the funds to spend, then it's gonna work. If you're getting that objection with the tariff stuff in Canada, again, like you said, I would just call US then screw it. Maybe the tariffs are having a bigger impact than I thought here. But I would say call US and go full steam ahead with your current offer. I would just want to do one for sake of operational complexity and your attention being finite in general when you're running a business. What the pro of me, I think in the last few years in business, I've always only had one offer I'm selling at one period of time. I've only had one. So I've never sold a GHL downsell. I've never done anything like that personally. So I would just stick with a high ticket Facebook thing. And if they are not buying because they don't have money, then you might want to add in a qualifying thing in your pre-call video or on a cold call. You can qualify them before they get on. Something you can do. But I don't know. It's just that's all I think. You should just sell one.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. It also, in the beginning, it's all the mind game, like the mind stop anyway. And if you have,
It's a shiny object, always wanting to pull you in different directions. I get it all the time, man. It's always there.
okay. And so even on the sales call, let's say I focus only on Facebook ads, but then the guy really has no money. Would you recommend just saying, okay, we're not a fit, or like if it's the first client, maybe downselling them, or just no, only Facebook ads?
Well, it's like what do you want an experience in? Like the experience should come from the thing you're selling or want to sell in general, and that's what I would gain skill in. So that's a fancy way of me saying I wouldn't take them on. Quick question: how many sales calls have you taken?
In total, maybe 30 to 40.
Okay, nice. How many with this offer?
I've been doing it for I started it around 1.5 years ago, but I was doing it on and off, and I had a job in between where I kind of stopped. So I had a whole different offers you can imagine, everything. But in the beginning, I was just selling Facebook ads. So yeah,
okay. So basically,
I didn't go for it.
the only reason I'm asking that is when you said people are broke or something like that, I thought in my head, how much data do you have? It's a very good question to ask all the time, because basically a lot of beginners, this is what, on the topic of shiny object, they have 10 sales calls, they get one that say this is a bad offer, or they have one that doesn't have the money, or they have one that gives them a negative feedback loop, and they change everything off of one sales call. And I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just saying it's something to keep in mind. Even if 20% of sales calls don't like your thing, the other 80% do not actually they actually like the thing. So don't take feedback on people that are not 30 sales calls in a row of data. If you have 10 out of 30 sales calls saying they're broke, there's something wrong with the system. Where you're calling, or the lead sourcing, or the qualifying. If it's 2 out of 30 that are broke, just keep doing what you're doing. That's a great number, if that makes sense.
Awesome. And on topic of numbers, also from the call would be my last question before I hop off again.
Sure.
So I've tried a new script kind of the last 2 weeks, and I got 5 bookings in 100 calls, but that got me a lot of people, those exact people that were saying they were broke, tariffs and all. I don't know if it's my script, whatever. Since then, I kind of changed it up a little bit to do it like you kind of say, with more permission based and basically pitching them, because the previous script wasn't really pitching them. I think the prospects were confused. Maybe that's why the conversion rate was also low in terms of sales. But yeah, what should you realistically expect if you do the kind of script like you're doing, and make 100 calls a day, let's say 30 pickups for actual decision makers? If I boost one meeting from those 30 pickups, is that solid, and I should just keep going? Or at which point would you say, okay, maybe your script is bad or something is bad, and think about changing something?
Yeah. Great question. Basically, I would create a metrics tracker in your spreadsheet if you have that. Do you have a metrics tracker?
Yeah.
Do you have a metrics tracker on individual metrics, such as pickups, such as pitches, such as resonation rates, such as ABR?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. So firstly, if it's a pickup issue, this is how I bottleneck test. So a pickup issue probably means wrong lead sourcing, wrong time of day. So those are the two main influencing factors. If it is a pitch issue, so the pitch rate or resonation rate is low, it just means you're not conveying the value good enough to the person. So if the pickups rate's good, if it's the resonation that's low, you're not conveying the value well enough, the script is bad. If you are getting everybody on objections, giving you objections, they resonate, but say no thanks, it means the objection like that. So firstly, I would determine where problems are by using that framework in your objective tracker. Secondly, if you are between a 1 to 2% ABR, appointment booking rate out of 100 calls, so you're getting 1 to 2 bookings per 100 calls, that is normal, as a normal cold caller would do. If you are a very good cold caller and you have weeks and months of experience of cold calling, you can get that up to 3 to 4%. And 3 to 4% is quite common in like real estate niche as an example, because everybody picks up the phone. So I would just bottleneck test until you're at like 3 or 4%, which is going to take a few months. But it's just like I said, you're finding the bottleneck in the script. If everybody is saying no at the hook, you have a bad hook. If everybody's saying no at the pitch, you have a bad pitch. And you just iterate on the line that they're saying no to until you get a winner that is getting better metrics than any other script you've tested. So it's a testing game. It takes weeks to test each line in the script, but you have to do it individually. So don't make a mistake of changing 3 lines in a script at once, because then you can't determine exactly which line of the cold call script influenced the metric, if that makes sense. So do one test at a time, do a few hundred cold calls per test, and then you can iterate in the script to get the ABR up, if that makes sense.
For sure. So basically, if I make 100 calls and I book 1 meeting, then it's fine. I can just keep going. Nothing.
Yeah, it's fine. Keep going, but we want to get it up. Like it's fine. Like I would keep doing it. And again, like if you cold call 100 people every day for 5 days straight, it's 5 sales calls a week. You close one of them. Like that's great. It's fine. But again, anything to make it better, I just continue testing it, and you'll be 3 or 4% no time if you keep doing that.
Amazing. And then last question, which is the most important, actually.
Okay.
Anyway, in terms of doing a big numbers of cold calls. So actually, that's the problem why I still don't have clients. Like obviously, I haven't done enough cold calls. Right now, I'm at 100 a day, but like it's just it's still tough, you know. Do you have I don't know any tips to kind of just go up to 200, maybe even 300 per day, or is it just like just do the work? That's it.
Yeah, I have some like psychological tips I do. It's a kind of a me thing and nobody else does it, so just go with a grain of salt, but try it for yourself and see if it works. Before I had a cold calling team, this is what I do. I first caffeinate, so I need a coffee because I wanna be energetic while I'm cold calling. Number 2, what I did is I have an earbud in. I had 1 earbud in, and I would connect that to my phone, and then I have the microphone on my computer cold call. The reason for that is I get so bored and antsy while I'm calling, I just don't want to do it anymore. So when I have music and I'm blasting good music, when someone picks up the phone, I have 1 earbud, I just pull it out and I talk to them and put the earbud back in, plays music while I'm calling. Because again, if you have 50% pickup rate, 50% of people aren't going to pick up. That's what I do. I've also heard some people like literally play chess on their phone while they're calling, because it keeps them distracted. So again, like the whole point of cold calling is just to do it. It doesn't matter how you do it. Like as long as you're talking to people on the phone and you're reading from the script, as long as you're making the dials, it's all that matters. It doesn't matter how you make the dials. It just matters like how many you're actually doing. Are you talking to them with the script? So those are some small things I do personally to make it easier. You can also do like 2 cold calling sessions during the day. So if you have like a decent pickup rate at like 10 a.m. and then you have a decent one at like 5 p.m. as well, you can do 2 separate sessions to make it spread out. Completely up to you how you do that. But again, so just some small things I personally do for a volume of cold calls.
For sure, I will try the music one.
Yeah, I like music, so it gets the mood up. So I just blast music the whole time.
Yeah, like says I already caffeinate, so but yeah, the music one, I so like you know, as hunt falls, you just your brain like just kind of.
Yeah, it clocks out on you. Yeah, 100%. I agree. Yeah, so
I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I'll let someone else talk, but yeah, thanks a lot, man.
No worries, brother. No worries. Thank you, man. All right, so we have a bunch of questions in chat, guys. So I'm gonna go through the chat real quick, and then we can. It's about 9 minutes left, so we can maybe take a question 2 after that. Okay, I'm on. Hi, Joe. Just a noisy environment. Yeah, no worries. How early on did you niche down? Do you still work with clients outside your niche? I've always worked with one niche. I had the benefit of being in one niche this whole time, and I have never worked in another niche because I am of the opinion that the more you switch niches, the more inexperienced you're going to be in that niche, which you need some more inexperience you're going to be in that niche, the less you're going to get meetings, the less you're going to get client results. You're unfamiliar with the niche. So I've always stayed in one. So what I did though is I did 8 months of basically getting only 2 clients when I started this like 2 years ago when I was like 18. And I like no money for 8 months and I switched to real estate and then I made all my money in real estate. So I do one niche at a time just to clarify. That's all I do. Do you keep fulfillment in-house or outsource? How do you handle QA? Do you mean VA? I'm not too sure. Probably VA to maintain quality services. In-house. Quality assurance. Okay, got it. Yep. So fulfillment has always been in-house. I have always done the fulfillment myself. If I was at a few hundred clients and I was signing 50 clients a week, soon enough for me, I will probably get a few media buyers to handle that. But again, I like my ad systems and I did it myself. But I would not call the leads myself. So what I do is have the clients call the leads. I do not personally call the leads. I set up their ads. The ad setup takes me an hour because I just copy and paste my templates on their ad account. You maintain quality assurance by looking at the metrics of the ads. If the metrics of the ads are in KPI, key performance indicators, if they are good, that means the quality is good. If you're getting feedback from your clients that the quality of the leads are good, that means the leads are good. So it's just feedback loops. It's just seeing the metrics on Facebook and seeing, is the cost per lead good? Is the CPC good? Is the click-through rate good? Is the repetition on how many people are seeing the ads good? That's the stuff I look at when I'm seeing quality of the ads in general, is those metrics on Facebook plus feedback from clients. If they're making money, how much money they're making, can we optimize any more? That's what I do. But yeah, I would personally get the skill of fulfillment, of lead gen, of running ads yourself first, because I think it's a very good skill to have. If you ever start another company, if you work for a company, whatever it is, you now have the skill of paid advertising, which is a very good skill, because as soon as you know paid advertising very well, you know how to do it. You can put $1 in a system and get 4 back, $1,000 in the system, get 4 back. So that's what I think. I hope that helped. I hope that was a good answer. Thank you guys very much for hopping on. It's been a pleasure. And hope to see you guys next week too. I think what I'm doing next week. Peace. Thanks, Emil. See you guys later. Oscar, Cadden. See you guys later. Patrick, thank you. Peace, guys.